Hello YouTube, my name is Elwirfy, and I have a very, very special game for you guys today. Currently, there's been a new update in CSGO, which is called the revolver. And you see this little revolver guy here, just kind of does his thing, and it's pretty standard in terms of what a gun is supposed to do. But no one's gonna go after him for making a really terrible gun, in my opinion. So, why is the revolver terrible? Well, I can explain that quite simply. The main reason why it's a terrible gun is because, in general, in order to have a gun that is, well balanced, you need it to be something that's viable. Now, you see, right now, we're going to watch from my perspective. So, my team decided on the second round of this competitive match that we were in, that after having losing the first round, we all just bought revolvers. Because you know what? Revolvers are badass. Who wouldn't want one? Because when you have a little pocket op, you know it's going to be good. Okay, well, I did die. Admittedly, this update had just come out. And that's not an excuse, but you see that? I mean, don't even really need to try too hard. So in this match, it was pretty much just a revolver showcase kind of deal. And that's what I really felt happened. Now, the only player left here is going to be this poor guy. And he gets gunned down by a revolver because that's what people use nowadays. So, to start off, I think we're just gonna let the auto director run, and I'm just gonna kind of go over how the game went, my feelings about it, because to be honest, it was kind of it was a fair fight, but when a team can have a sniper rifle with a sniper pistol, it gets pretty ridiculous. Okay, so here we are with the terrorists. We're going out. We all have just the basic pistols because we're saving, and we're doing a real save. We're not doing anything stupid. Here's me killing things. We're trying to anyway. We weren't doing so hot, as you can clearly tell. It's quite difficult. So, as usual, the team that loses the pistol round will usually be forced into losing the next couple of rounds. So you notice, as tees, we decided, you know what, let's double up. Because, why not? Now, we didn't know why Dead Gun wasn't buying. It was kind of strange, because when a team buys, usually you buy with the team, because it can hurt the economy, because that means we have one man who doesn't have a weapon. And that means he's expecting one of us to die, which is not something good, because you don't want to lose people. So, we both op in the middle, me and the crazy communist. He scared the hell out of us in this game, because he started, you'll see what happens. So yeah, this guy who calls himself Gunslinger on the CT side, we're just kind of, using the revolver, kicking butt. And Communist picks up a really nice pick here. Well, it's not a pick, it's just a kill, but... Now, we didn't expect the Deaf Samurai to come in, and he ends up being a good kill because the cool thing about it is that weapon, the MP9, I think it is. Yeah, it's a pretty good upshot. Is actually really good when you're running. Now the janitor here, this is fun. Let's watch from his perspective. He's just got this revolver, and he has full nades. He hasn't used any of his nades though, which is interesting. When I play, I in general don't really buy nades unless there's a specific thing I need to get done, and we both have ops. So of course, that's just what happens. Using that pocket op is not going to get you a win. If anything, it'll just get you killed. So let's watch this round from my perspective. I don't actually remember what happens in this round. I don't remember if I do great or if I don't. All I know is that this is an important round because, if you'll notice, I actually ended up picking up that gun, so I currently am using an op with an op, because I got this long-range sniper rifle. I didn't get the pick, though, which was unfortunate. But I did get that one, so we traded. And it's a pretty early trade. We didn't expect it. Our guy down here, he's doing his own thing, because we're planning on doing a B take in this scenario. Unfortunately, Dead Gun gets a bit cocky, I think, and he just kind of, like, pretty much almost dies. I forget, does he die here? Yeah, he dies. You don't really want to split from your team. When you split from your team, that usually means you're not going to do too hot. So I threw a flash in, I picked it up from someone else, and he does get the pick on me. We didn't do that good. But my point is, with this round specifically... Oh, look at that, he's still alive. I'm pretty sure he doesn't make it because it's 3v1. Yeah, he didn't even place his crosshair in the right spot. It's okay. Not the end of the world. So you know, it's the other team now. They have, like, this guy, number 3. He's got an op and a revolver. What a shocker. Now, this is before the revolver nerf, which means that this is back when the revolver was still a one-hit kill. So something like this, let's just watch from his perspective here, okay? He's got an op, and he's got the hand off. So he's going to come over here, and he's going to watch long. All right? Pretty standard. We weren't sure we were going to do this round. We were thinking about going A or doing a cat push. But then we do get, well, I get picked off in mid, and I was pretty annoyed with that because I would have assumed we would have had a guy watching mid. So he comes out with his stuff, and he still gets taken down. So the thing is, all it does is make it easier for really good players to get cheap kills like this guy. He just took out that guy out, and that guy had like a full bot, and his pistol that cost $850. Keep in mind, is doing good. Now this from this position, even though it's a 2v2 and they have ops, this guy still has an op and a. Okay, I don't know why he's single shooting. I think we were telling him to use the right mouse button. He picked up the bomb and starts to move away. This guy over here, he's just kind of doing his thing. Not the end of the world. He will be going cat, which means that our guy should be able to take him out because he has an op. Now he makes an interesting choice to drop down because he was just going to play it from long. But this guy clearly has to know what he's doing because obviously he's not really too unconfident. He's not even scoping in or checking. And we're like, yo, telling this guy, bro, you got to do something. And he gets that shot right there. Pretty much describes the gun in a nutshell. He didn't use his op to take that guy out. He used the revolver, which admittedly is probably a safer bet for him to use. The fact that he could do that is just nuts. So check it out. So I'm like, okay, cool. That worked out great. So I decide that I'm just going to use a revolver. That's it. I have a revolver and armor with helmet. And that ends up being a pretty legitimate thing to do. And I do have a bomb also. So things got pretty nuts. Now we did have an issue because the CTs pushed up. So then I was like, okay, I can do this. I was thinking to myself, I need to be able to get that spray down. But unfortunately, this gun is so accurate, if you miss, you miss. There's no spray or anything. Pretty sure we didn't do quite as good in this round. Now, unfortunately, there is specific rounds I want to show you, but I don't completely know exactly which rounds to how to jump rounds. So he does get this awesome op kill, which was brilliant. Even though he does get flashed, we knew kind of where he was, so we just kind of had to get trained on this guy. I don't... Obviously, he thought he wasn't door yet, but hey, he got the kill, and now he's got an op and an op, and the other guy has an op and an op. So we have two pretty much fully loaded guys, and surprisingly in this game, it wasn't a steamroll in the first half. We actually struggled quite a bit in order to gain the momentum that we needed. And I'm just going to turn auto director on so that way I don't have to manage that myself. So we see the CTs in losing round 7. They decide, you know what, let's just do a full buy to try and force us down, to try and take us out. So then I'm sitting here trained. I'm still on mid, and I take the shot. Of course. And we do actually get a second pick, but we did lose one. I think it was at long A, and we're aware of this, but we don't want to push long A because we actually got our man on site with the bomb. Now, this was unfortunate. I wasn't aware that a guy had snuck around, so I ended up getting taken out. But it's not the end of the world, because now it is a 2v3 retake for CTs, but they were kind of slow. You know, they didn't really quite know what they were going to do. So this guy comes, and this is why that's a good spot to sit on dust, is because people don't really look there. Now we didn't know where he was, but obviously with the timer ticking down, the CT was just playing for the exit frag, and so we both just get out, and everyone pretty much is happy with that, because now it's tied 4-4. This is a T-sided map, so that'll put it in favor of us, because now we have the huge momentum to keep going. And I'm not quite sure if the blue shelf effect has kicked in yet, which is essentially where if you lose more, the more and more you lose, the bigger benefit of money you get to try and keep the game balanced. So that way, there's always a chance to win, and which there is. There's always a chance to win in Counter-Strike, Global Offensive. So in this one, we were thinking about doing a mid to B or a cat A split. We were thinking about that, but we weren't too sure. So he lets this guy come out, and he gets that kill. We technically trade. I managed to get a close range pick, because we know that the bomb's down and we need to hold this. Now, I wasn't aware of a man coming CT, but someone called it out, so I was able to turn and get that quick op shot. And all we had to do was take out Janitor, who was the last guy. Let's watch this from his perspective. So he's got his revolver. He's ready for a quick snap, but didn't really help him that much, because Crazy Communist comes in with his little MP7, and that puts us into a much better position, because Dead Gun, he's up to $10,000. So that means even if we lost for some reason, we would still be able to get at least 2 guys with weapons, even though we were all fully able to buy it for ourselves. So let's watch from, let's see, which player do we need to look at? Yeah, let's watch from Janitor again, because he had, he was the player who was watching mid. So he's doing, of course, the standard flash and such, and we didn't even really worry about it. But he's the only guy in B. You know, there's no one else in B right now. And funny enough, we decided to do a B take, because we hear enemies going long. Now, we weren't quite too sure what they had in mid, so that's why we didn't push there. This guy over here, I can't actually select him, which is sad. The Crazy Communist, I can't, because of my recording software, I'm unable to check that. But we ended up getting another clean kill, and a lot of our kills came from this revolver, which is a bit of an issue, because although we were buying like weapons and such as normal, like look at how these counter-terrorists are not actually buying the revolver as often as they really should be, because since this was pre-patched, like check it out, this revolver is pretty good, and they're not, like on a save round, even though the counter-terrorists were not actually saving, like that. See, I got a pick. Sorry I didn't show you that, because auto director is on. So let's watch from this guy. He runs into B. He's all happy. But obviously, P90 still a really strong choice. Okay. So we end up getting this push here. Why? Okay. Dead Gun with a spray on the outside. So now it gets put into a 2v2 situation. And so I'm going to sit here with an op and watch Cat. I get that kill. I'm trusting my other guy. It's a 1v1 situation. Pretty scary clutch. He's not quite sure, so I just hold looking down a particular angle, and that ends up working out in our favor in the end. So I'm just going to free roam now for this next round, because I thought this was really interesting. Because I got to spawn right where the pick was, and you can see from the money, we're incredibly taking them out in terms of the economy. So I'm kind of trained in. You can see it. I'm counting. I'm just counting. 2 cross, but there's a guy middle, and he gets me. So that's the thing, is that Peeker's advantage. You know, you can still make a comeback. Good save was done by that, and so then this guy, Gunslinger 3601, is the only guy who's really in a position to engage us directly. And therefore, that's just kind of what happens. So Deadgun moves over to watch the center, which was very good. We knew that the last guy who was near us was over there, who could have been playing suicide. We were calling out, we were trying. He misses his off shot, so then it's put into a 1v1. Janitor, once again, as the final guy, but he's lit for 12, so it's a bit unclear. We were trying to get this, trying to get Deadgun to go ahead and move over to B, but we didn't convince. That wasn't the choice he wanted to make, so there you go. You got killed. That's kind of what happens. And Janitor will take the victory for the counter-terrorists. So, turn auto director on here again. And so, we lost, and we didn't like that, but we had so much money, we said, you know what? Let's just do something kind of ridiculous. So, interestingly enough, Deadgun decides to buy an op with me, so we have two ops again. And this counter-terrorist tries to do something, but to no avail, because I was already trained on that position. We were ready, so then Deputy is going to try and charge me with his MAC-10. Deadgun gets a second pick, and things just start to fall apart. This poor guy, Gunslinger, gets taken out from a side hit. We do end up losing Crazy, but that's alright, because Steve here, he's on the bomb. Everything's going great. I go to plant the bomb, and then Deputy Dan ends up being alone with his MAC-10. Fortunately, that's not going to be the most effective when he goes to push on the site. He does get an op, though, which helps him out. Now, I wasn't quite too sure what this guy was doing, but I was ready. I missed my shot, which was unfortunate. But coming around, things got tough. Fortunately, I came around and I got a shot with my pistol, which is very helpful when it's a one-hit kill. So in this round, as you can see, the money push up on the top of your screen, it being round 14, we had been able to shove their economy way in our favor. Now, even though they did buy really expensive stuff, like I just bought that guy an op because I can. You know, normally you don't see people buying each other ops and then getting an op themselves. And I do catch the 2 cross, I think, although I might have only called 1. Gunslinger has his op trained on this, and he should have gotten that. There are a couple of times he should have got that kill, but he does it again with the pistol anyways. Deadgun ends up moving up to the site, and there is no one watching it because Janitor went AFK, I think, in this round, and we end up losing the bomb. Now, I did try my best to try and hold him off, but against 3, I was kind of struggling, and I don't even get the kill. So Crazy, on his own, goes to try and hold out. He pushes up a bit too far. That was a bit unfortunate. But then Deadgun here with his ump tries to go for a clutch because he gets that free kill on Janitor. Because he's in a 1v2 scenario. The bomb is down, but he's in the advantageous spot because he has the ability to funnel these guys. Now, thanks to some brilliant shooting, he does get an amazing triple kill. And that ends up helping out. And again, he's got the op, and he's got the pistol. This was a bit of a lower ranked game. This was back when I was Master Guardian 1, the single AK. But this was my first game getting into it in this rank with the new gun being implemented. Fortunately, thanks to that revolver nerf again, it's not as common. People use it sometimes, but fortunately the meta is not totally destroyed. So we see Deputy coming up too long. He's doing a bit of sneakiness. He can hear that the bomb's getting picked up. He thinks something's coming in, but fortunately for us, Crazy was ready. I think. Nope. Okay, he wasn't ready, which is unfortunate. And then Steve, poor Steve, on his own. He made it to the bomb site, but it didn't work out. I think we just told him to save, because all 5 of these counter-terrorists are up and ready to go. And there just doesn't seem to be much hope. Unless he can manage to pull off an epic revolver thing. For example, there's 1 kill right there, right? Okay. So there's 4 counter-terrorists left. He knows where the bomb is. All the counter-terrorists know where he is. 2 kills, 3 kills. Unfortunately, not enough kills. But in a 1v5, this guy manages to get 3 kills. He didn't even know about the auto firing mechanism by hitting the right mouse button. So that means that he was able to just kind of plow through. Even though obviously the combined firepower of all the CTs was enough to take him down. It just makes things a little bit easier. So, going into the 16th round of the game, the terrorists go ahead and make a really insane push to just kind of rush for it. And Communist sees it, calls it, we lose him, and we immediately begin a heavy rotate. Somehow, Def Squad makes it out with 1 health. We are lagging a little bit. And you know what? For the sake of the video, we are going to actually cut it right here.